Hey friends, Gary here. Today we're going to talk about travel photography. So I've been doing travel photography for more than 12 years and I've traveled to more than 24 countries around the world. So in today's video, I want to share some essential tips not only on how to take better travel photographs, but also how to improve your overall travel photography experience so that not only you'll get better pictures, but you'll also enjoy the process of doing travel photography more. Hopefully you can apply what you learned from today's video on your future trips. So from my experience of doing travel photography, I think it is actually a mix of some different kinds of photography genres. It can be landscape when you're seeing that beautiful mountain or a lake. You want to try to capture it with a landscape photography kind of perspective. And then it is also sometimes street photography. You're wandering around the city and you want to try to take some nice moments of strangers in the town or some, funny moments or great looking characters walking down the streets, things like that. Sometimes it's also a little bit of product photography. Maybe you're eating in a nice restaurant and you want to document the food in a proper way. You want to make it look nice. And sometimes it can even be a portrait, especially of your family members. And from that kind of thinking, I can conclude that to master travel photography, you have to be able to be very versatile. You have to have that jack of all trades mentality. Now, my first tip to you regarding how to take better travel photography pictures is to balance between visual and context. I often find my most interesting travel photographs are the one that has this kind of balance. So not only does the picture look pretty, but also it has some context. So when we talk about looking pretty, it is straightforward. That's the composition, colors, and all of the basic things that you need to pay proper attention of. But when it comes to context, it's a little bit tricky. It's about adding some elements into the photo, whether a foreground, a midground, a background, something that can enhance the storytelling of the picture, something that can add a sense of time, sense of location, or maybe even sense of emotion. That's what context is about. And if you want to learn more about context, I made a video about it many months ago. You can check out the link up here. When I first starting out doing travel photography, I focus only on the visual, on the composition, on how to take nice pictures. I don't really pay attention to adding context, adding story, adding elements that can enhance the pictures. And my pictures during that time, I think kind of sucked a little bit. Not that they don't look good, they look honestly fine, but they lack that storytelling element that is sorely needed for travel photographs, because without this context, you cannot really feel what's going on the image. You don't have that sense of understanding about the picture. For example, I can take a nice sunset picture and just capture the whole sunset by itself, maybe add some clouds here and there, maybe add a little bit of the ocean, and that's it. That will look like a nice proper sunset photograph, but it doesn't have any context. You don't have to travel far to capture that kind of image. You can just go to your town's beach and capture a very similar image. But when it comes to adding context, maybe you can add a sense of location. Maybe you're somewhere tropical, try to add a palm tree into the sunset photo, or maybe add a small boat, a small ship, or some persons on the beach playing, or maybe gathering, or maybe just having fun. Add it into the image and that will become a nice context, and you will remember how it's like on the beach during that time when you took the picture. On the other hand, a picture can have plenty of context, but if it doesn't have nice visual, then it'll look like a mess. I mean, you have an important moment that you want to document using photography when you are traveling, and you just capture it as it is. You don't put too much thought into how to make the picture look more presentable, more appealing, more nice. It's gonna look ugly. Trust me. You wanna still, again, balance between context and visual and try to find the nice spot in the middle, right in between these two things. Next tip is to learn to be present. Sometimes it's not enough for us just to be able to capture some images during our trip. We also need to learn how to be present. I mean, it's not just about holding a camera, trying to compose, find some pictures and then taking the shots. Sometimes you have to be aware of your surrounding in order to find the best shots, not just the regular snapshots, but the ones that we call keeper shots. Sometimes these shots aren't where we expect them to be. Be observant. Understand your environment around you and also notice the details on your surroundings, whether you are in the city or out in nature, in order to make better judgment about where the best shots are going to be. Anyway, learning to be present will help you not only to observe these potential keeper photos, but also for you to be more immersed in your travel experience. I mean, come on, you're traveling. You paid a lot of money to be here on the destination. You should enjoy the whole travel experience. You should have more fun and just have a good time while you are away. My next tip is to learn to pre-visualize. Pre-visualization is imagining how a scenery will look like when you capture it using your camera, but even before I touch my camera. You know, sometimes you look at other photographers and they might do something like this with their hands, you know, making a framing device like a rectangle using their fingers. That's also pre-visualization, but I don't like to do it with my hands because people will look at me and I will feel very self-conscious, so I will just do it in my head. So the purpose of pre-visualization is to help you to quickly filter some more potential photographs from the ones that just happen to look great with your eyes, but actually don't look so great when you capture it using your camera. You may be familiar with the feeling of being overwhelmed with too many pictures when you get back from a trip because you took so many pictures, you don't filter through them, and now you have lots of unused pictures, you just don't know how to filter them. Well, pre-visualization will help to reduce the number of unused shots, making you more efficient and effective when you're taking travel photographs. My tip for you to be able to learn pre-visualization is to just stick to one focal length for a few days or a few weeks and just train the eyes to get used to that particular focal length, be familiarized with how wide or how tight that particular focal length is. When I'm traveling, I use this pre-visualization technique all the time, especially for things like street photography where you need to be quick and reactive to the situation. It makes everything faster, more efficient and less stressful for you, so you can get better keeper shots while you're not ended up with so many unused shots. Next tip is don't let the camera get in the way. When you're traveling, precious moments can happen in a matter of seconds, so you don't want to miss these moments because you are busy setting your camera. So my tip for you is to set the camera so that you can just forget about everything. Just let it be on auto ISO, auto white balance, put it on one of the priority modes like aperture priority or shutter priority. Set the shutter speed high enough that you don't have to think about movement blur anymore and you're just ready to rock and roll at any time. What I mean is, whatever that you can do to simplify your camera setting, you have to do it. That way you'll have a more enjoyable travel photography experience rather than just tinkering your camera settings non-stop and become stressed because you are afraid to miss the moments. One final note that I want to share regarding my experience doing travel photography is that gear doesn't matter. Use any camera that you like, whether it's a full frame, APS-C, micro four thirds, point and shoot compact cameras, or even smartphone cameras. They don't matter. Just find the one that aligns with your priority. For me, my priorities are small, lightweight, good enough image quality and great user interface. And for me, usually I prefer micro four thirds cameras and lenses, but you don't have to use micro four thirds. You can just use anything as long as you are comfortable with it, and again, it aligns with your priority. Regarding lenses, there are few options. For me, I love to use super zoom lenses when I'm traveling to a nature-oriented destination, something that can cover a little bit of wide angle all the way to ultra telephoto with just one single lens. It's very stress-free experience. You don't have to change lenses. One lens can do it all. And sometimes I complement it with a ultra wide angle lens, something that can get really wide for that classical landscape shots. I think that's important, but oftentimes using something like a standard kit lens is also okay for travel photography. This can cover about 70 to 80% of your travel photography needs, and you can complement it with something like a small telephoto lens for that, distant landscape photography kind of shots, for a little bit of a telephoto portrait, detail shots, things like that. And yeah, maybe add a little bit of a small prime lens, general purpose prime lens that can cover moderate wide angle kind of field of view with large aperture for the evening and also for street photography. Anyway, if you want to further learn from my experience doing travel photography for more than 12 years, you are welcome to check out my travel photography course ebook called Simplifying Travel Photography. In this book, I discuss lots of topics including camera, gear, composition, storytelling, all that kind of stuff. I will put the QR code right here and also the link down below, and also the link on the description as well for you to check that out. And that wraps up today's video, and that is all for my experience doing travel photography, all of the tips that I can share to you today. Hopefully they are useful, inspiring, informative. Hopefully you can learn from today's video and apply all of the tips that I mentioned for your future trips. So let's have a little bit of a discussion on the comment section down below. What are your favorite tips when you are doing travel photography? Please comment down below. I want to read your comments. Also, if you have any question, comment down below as well. I will try my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you enjoy my work and want to support my channel even further, consider using the affiliate links on the description below. Use the super thanks button also down below to make a small donation to my channel, or purchase again my travel photography ebook, Simplifying Travel Photography, link also on the description below. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.